Welcome back from Paolo Bozzacchi, Brussels, UTOPIA Studios. Next interview, the Watcher poll for the European elections. We have the pleasure to have been connected with us Jorida Tabaku, member of the Albanian Parliament, Democratic Party of Albania, chair of EU Affairs. Welcome.
Welcome also to my live studio here. I'm talking from Washington, but of course for European elections.
Let's start, Ms. Tabaku, with the geopolitical challenges. How should the EU position itself in the next mandate from the Albanian perspective, especially in the Western Balkans?
First of all, thank you very much for having also a framework on the Western Balkans during your discussions on the European Parliament, because the outcome of these elections will for sure influence also decisions linked with the region. Lastly, after the Russian aggression towards Ukraine, the geopolitical situation is not the same, and this has also influenced the decision for enlargement of the actual committee, but also of the actual parliament. Having said that, countries that were a little bit skeptical for enlargement have changed their position. France now looks much more positively on the enlargement of the Western Balkans and has supported also Albania in this process. The same goes for the Netherlands. So now we cannot speak about the same situation that used to be some years ago. And I hope that these elections and the outcome of these elections will not change this outlook. Albania is a very supportive country for European integration process. EU support rate is around 94%. You don't see that in other countries of our region. Serbia is among the lowest one. But having said that, the perspective of the whole region is in the European Union, and the outcome of the next elections, these elections, will influence how the European Parliament, but most importantly also AFET, the Foreign Affairs Committee, will the enlargement, the growth plan, but also the gradual integration of the region that has started to take place under this commission. We hope that not everything will start from scratch. We hope that we don't have to restart everything, discussions with the Parliament and the Commission from zero, because of the geopolitical situation, but also because of the phase that the countries of the region are right now.
Let's speak a little bit and go deep into the relationship between Albania and European Union. There is an ongoing negotiation process. And what are the way for the relationship to be further strengthened in this process with the next mandate?
Yes, it's true. Albania has been like forever in the waiting room. Albania, for the last 10 years, has been waiting to open access negotiations. And this process has been quite technical. This process has been focused on a lot of political criteria and laws that are linked with political criteria, such as the justice reform or issues linked with fight against corruption, organized crime, rule of law, which are mainly linked with Cluster 1. Now, the relations are moving towards a different perspective after the growth plan, after the Berlin process. We are now trying to talk much more on the economic side of the process and on the fact that how European integration is impacting people. And I believe this is of the essence for Albania, but also for the region, because we are seeing the European integration process not proceeding. I don't want the motivation to increase in the country. I am part of the opposition, but this does not change things that both sides of the politics view the European integration process as the main strategic goal of the country. The Commission has been trying to be a little bit innovative since the negotiations for chapters were not being opened. The gradual integration was introduced as a tool here, and this, of course, is viewed positively in the region. The growth plan is viewed positively in the region, and the focus on the common regional market, on the single payment area, and other issues are, of course, positive for the region. The Commission has to deliver, supported, of course, by the European Parliament, because I see the European integration process as a motivator for change from one side, but also as a motivator also to maintain democracy and stability in the country, because issues such as elections, fight against corruption, rule of law, erosion of democracy will be viewed with a negotiation country differently than as they are viewed right now. So we need to move away from the discussion of a date of opening negotiations into the content. This is something that everyone in Albania is looking forward.
What are the key benefits, Ms. Tabaku, from accession for both sides, Albania, European Union?
See, Albania has its own problems, and there are reasons why we are in this stage of the European integration. But we have an amazing young population, a vibrant young population that not seeing the profits of the enlargement process because of not advancing is also leaving the country. And I believe that one of the main issues that will be resolved with Albania gradually advancing in the European integration is also the migration issue, an issue which is becoming a problem for the Albanian economy, but also is an issue also for the member countries. Albania has a young, vivid population. With a low average age, with economy that is striving to develop, and this would be one of the main advantages that Albania would get from enlargement. Of course, the potential of the common market, the potential of extending and enlarging the opportunity for Albanian students, businesses, families being part of Europe. And Europe, of course, will get one of the most stable countries in the region. We have our political differences, we have our misunderstandings, but Albania is a country that has no disputes with neighbors, a country that plays a role in maintaining stability in the region, and it is a country that, independently of internal problems, has never exported those to the region. So
Let's
I think it's
stay.
beneficial for both sides.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you. Let's stay on migration issue. The recent agreement just a few days ago between Albania and Italy on illegal migration with Albania hotspots creation could be considered, in your opinion, a best practice of collaboration between EU and the countries such as Albania?
See, Italy is our star neighbor, is our best neighbor. It's a strategic ally for Albania. It's a brotherly country, and I don't think that. And I hope not that the model used in this case can be replicated with other countries in the case of Albania. Having said that, I think that this problem cannot be solved like this. This problem can be solved in the origin countries. And I have heard the Italian Prime Minister say this when before actually the Italian political elections, when she was elected Prime Minister, that this problem is not solved with centers that wait for migrants. This problem is not solved in the sea. This problem is solved in the countries that are the origin of migration. Uh, this might be an example. I don't want to make politics after it and out of it, but I believe that this problem should be treated differently.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Jorida Tabaku. We remember, member of the Albania Parliament, the chair of the EU dossier in
If I can,
Albania.
if I can make a final comment on the future of the process depending on EU elections.
Go ahead.
So, as a last comment and as a last note, we see a lot of populist discussions right now, and we see that this populist discussion might also change the composition of the European Parliament. I hope that the Albanian government, but also Albanian politics in general, will not view this process as a genuinely technical process. We have to see this with a still political will to advance and move it from technical discussions to political discussions. This will also give a new indication to the new parliament, being it populist or not, being it extremist or not, that the European Union is not complete without the Western Balkans. Albania is part of Europe. We are geographically in Europe. It is up to us to make it West and to have it with the West standard and norms and values. Thank you very much for the opportunity to discuss with you and for opening this window of discussion on a very important topic.
Very much from Paolo Bozzacchi, Brussels, UTOPIA Studios. We give you the appointment to the next interview. Follow us on the social network and thank you and goodbye.